I agree. It was he was carrying the game on his back. It's just unfortunate that he has some back issues.
Well, technically, he
It
was
hurt.
carrying the game in his stomach because that's all he's good for, apparently, is to eat his
No, on his
teammates.
shoulders, and he just got a hemorrhoid disc, so he unfortunately can't carry it on his back because it hurts too much. So he puts it down, and all of a sudden loses the game in that moment. Still, did they pause? Or are they really just using this much
Yeah,
time?
what the hell? I know this phase is long. I talk about it all the time, but this is the longest phase of bans in existence at this point. My God.
So Storm, I mean, you know, we often see this, the Storm versus the Luna. I feel like Storm's a good hero against these like triangle farmers, just because when you're smoking to gank them, they're always like at the ancients, some far away. Enemy team can like TP in, or just like literally run away from you, turn around with the ult before like when the smoke pops. So that's pretty nice. Also, like Luna has no disable, and Willow doesn't really have good instant disable for the Storm. So that's always pretty nice.
I mean, couldn't this have just as been a Void Spirit instead then? If you're just like, oh, I want a mobile spirit type hero. I'm curious why it has to be Storm for this go around. I'm curious if that says something more about their next two picks potentially or not.
Sure.
Void Spirit's still in there for sad boys, right? Like, wouldn't mind that necessarily. What, Coddle's in your head now after that long talk?
Well, he got it. It's in there now. It's stuck in there. I can't help that. You know,
He's
give them
your
mana.
brain, huh?
It has festered inside me. Yeah, it's not so good. So they wouldn't have disable if they pick Coddle though. That's the only issue. They need their other support on 2-base to have some at least decent disable. Yeah, because they've got all like pseudo disables. Yeah, Lion Shaman would be great. That would solve all their problems completely. Still Warlock in the pool, man, for Empyrean.
Chewing through the clock on Sad Boy's side, man.
When is the last time we've seen a gyro support? We've been seeing it core, and it's been absolutely god awful. Let's not mince words. Like horrendous, like worse than Morphling, and that's difficult to do right now. But position 4 gyro, I feel like it's okay still. Like what's changed?
Yeah, we see it in pubs. I mean, I've not seen it fall off in pubs. Just not picked much in competitive for some reason.
I feel like it's pretty good against Timbersaw. Okay, so Shadow Demon.
I like that. That was a good fast
pick. The Luna counter for mid to late game. Make a bunch of illusions. Pretty nice.
Right.
I love it when you get like a setup for it though in the laning stage, which we'll see if they end up doing.
Like some hero that SD actually combos with, you mean? Some like Mirana sort of hero?
Yeah, but it needs to be position 1, which makes it a little
obviously
bit more
this is
it used to be the Luna, you know, Luna SD was all the rage back in the day. I can't remember what was like a secondary go-to at that point when Luna may have been banned.
Morphling? God, I hope not. Yeah. I hope not.
I mean, it's an. Oh wait, hold on. It would be position 1 Morphling though, which is different than the mid Morphling we've been seeing.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. That's true. It's, you know, he doesn't have to be active and useful in the early game. His late game still does feel incredible. It's the same thing.
If he can get there.
If he comes out. Interesting pick. I wonder if something like, I was gonna say Ursa, but back in season 1, you know, Ursa versus Enchantress was always kind of a thing, but Luna was not in the equation at all. That may make it a bit finicky.
I think Sad Boys probably wants to run this DP mid, which I think we've seen Ryoya playing this mid lane. If this was the other way around and this was actually a 2-base DP, I'd say this is a Monkeys DP, but just given these players on Sad Boys, I'd say that we're probably looking for like a monster do shit hero. You know, if Pango wasn't banned, I'd say like the Pango would be the pick because it's a hero that stuns and isn't countered by Timber.
Do you think if they continue to ban? Okay, so I was gonna say if they ban a bunch of mid heroes, maybe you can flex it either way based on what they're banning, right? So they're gonna be banning off lane, so DP mid makes even more sense now. But if they were banning mids, you could have just put, you know, you can just switch it around to what fits your what heroes are actually available, which I think is the cool thing about DP.
Yeah, true. She's good. She's good at both. I think she's a little underrated. I think she didn't need to fall off as hard as she did, and with the Q being buffed, so it costs like so much less mana now. I got a Soul Ring in a pub the other day on this hero, and it felt pretty nice to just spam out the nuke. You could get 2 nukes off in the cost of 1 Soul Ring now, so you just have infinite mana.
But this is where I'm like, just put DP off lane. They're banning all the off lane heroes, so now that opens up your mid hero. Because there's still a lot of mid heroes, right? Like Void Spirit is still all the spirits are still there.
I think they need some run at you fighting guy. Like some, if they do pick a mid, it's probably going to be like a tiny. But the issue with the tiny is that it's not so good against this this Timbersaw. Like you're putting a higher farm priority hero in the mid lane that's countered by the Timber. That's the only issue. But I mean, it's like I don't think Tiny's that bad against Timber come mid to late game because Tiny has Magic Burst.
We've been seeing Ooh, okay.
I
Laura
was going to
still
say Axe is still out there, but maybe you don't go for the Axe because I know Axe against Shadow Demon has always been a very sketch
That
kind of
sucks,
matchup
yeah.
for the Axe, but they still
Yeah.
ban it regardless. But Slardar, who is something we slipped on and continues to pop up in some of these earlier drafts, as we saw in the last series, is still there. And the way they picked it fast, it made it feel like Sad Boys were planning on getting the Slardar initially. So that's probably a score for them. And there's the troll.
Ooh, my boy.
Been a while.
Boy.
This guy was
That
all
does
the rage in
counter
season
him.
1. All right, let's go. We have our drafts complete. I'm going to go to Jenkins this time first. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna go Sad Boys again. I think Simply
it.
Two Base looked really good, but I do like this Slardar with the DP and the Luna.
All right.
Damn it. Sad Boys.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm going to throw it to a break, and when we return, we're going to throw it over to Lyrical and Aui after the break with Pop-Tart. That man right there. Pop-Tart!
Welcome back, Dota fans. We're here for game number 2. Lots and lots and lots of voice lines coming out from these heroes. So they're excited to get into this game. Aui, we saw a bit of a just like outplay coming from Simply TOOBASED in game number 1. Do you think Sad Boys have put themselves in a position with their draft to sort of have a better chance this time? What are you thinking about what you're seeing?
I think a lot of the plays on TOOBASED were off the back of this Nyx hero. Like they were outplaying the other team for sure, but they were also sort of just given this opportunity because the other team picked like Leshak against their Nyx and stuff. I think this time they have like these. It's sort of an awkward support duo with Snapfire and Shadow Demon, and I think like in my head, I think Radiant's lineup should have a better tempo advantage. I think this Ench pick in particular like has the potential to take over this game.
Really, the Ench? What's
Yeah, I like that hero this game. It's just like Ench versus these two sort of weak range supports that can't contest you on the map. It feels very strong.
Okay, that seems fair. They did scout out Moo over there, and I'm curious if they're going to drop down the Sentry Ward. Flea, now the ping's coming over. So they have an inkling that he's coming over to try and get something action here. Monster has a bash queued up, and that gets him the bounty rune. He ran on into Roche, hit it 3 times.
What the?
That's the play,
so
dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Okay.
Somebody did it last, maybe it wasn't last season. It was when they added it, but it's a kind of cool way to like start.
I can't wait for people to smoke a 5-man gank him when he tries to hit Roshan. This is the progression, right? Like this guy's like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm gonna get bashed, and he just like gets 5-man ganked.
Yeah.
That was a pretty neat play.
When Centaurs used to do that in the mid lane, hitting up in the
I'm honestly
tower.
a bit surprised that Flea took his 3rd spell first. I played some Shadow Demon, and I do not like this spell. I actually prefer taking the 1st spell first, especially against eventually versus Luna. You're going to get the aura from it as well.
Right.
And actually, maybe I can see it because the thing about this lane is you have to be able to contest that Enchantress for the hard cap. Like you have to be able to body block that because Musa, right? He started with 2 sentries. He was ready to do battle for this camp.
Right.
And maybe the poison helps you fight the Enchantress better than Disruption would. I'm not sure on that because Disruption is actually pretty good versus these range supports. But I can see the reasoning there.
Yeah. Enchantress takes over the creep. Ooh, nice. The Mind Stealer.
He actually knows there's a ward on the high ground now, though, because Enchantress casted that enchant on Fog. So I'm wondering if he was able to recognize that. And Zephyr, he just does this every game, huh? He pulls the wave around and he's hoping to connect it. But I think Empyrean has outplayed him. Somehow he didn't make the wave connect.
Oh, interesting.
What's happening here? This is just bad for Zephyr, right? Like, there's just 4 creeps on him. He's going to have to pull into tier 1.
Yeah, that's really bizarre. That's not what you want to have happen. Although it is going to get all the way through. So he salvages it a little bit. Is the range creep? No, the range creep's in the range. So it's only going to be the 2 creeps. He might manage to get this range creep denied. But even that one, it looks like it's not going to happen. Yeah, all right. That's not good.
He did end up getting the equilibrium for his lane, which is really important against troll carry specifically, because if you do not get the equilibrium, this hero will just harass you down. But honestly, sort of at what cost, right? They lost a lot of region for that.
Yeah, not great. We'll have to see if that ends up sort of snowballing a little bit.
The mid lane CS, this is a lot better from Aui2000 this time. I think Ryoya was actually outplaying him in the last game, but he's managed to bounce back. It's such a weird mental game between these two like mids in like series, because like how you play certain lanes, like the most minute differences can change how the lane goes. I remember I was watching a summit or something, and CCNC was talking about, oh, I lost this lane because the enemy TA used glyph better than me on the first wave back when you could do that. And you can see like maybe in this matchup you pull aggro because they're going for last hits a bit earlier than normal. So you pull aggro so their last hit mets and you get more denies. And you can like make these sort of small adjustments based on the player in series that, yeah, it seems Aui2000 has done well with that.
Yeah, whatever the little changeup was. I mean, obviously it's a different matchup as well.
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
You know, that still sort of can hold sway.
And the thing is, these changes, like, the players don't even necessarily need to consciously be thinking about it. It's just, like, something that, like, you've played thousands of Dota games in mid, and you just automatically sort of be like, yo, this feels a bit like this, and you just have a feeling, you know? And it results in something good.
Well, it's definitely resulted so far in something good for him, having a nice time against this DP. We'll have to watch how that stuff goes. Fear, at this point now, trying to sort of have a little bit of a better go this time around. As you can see, he has not been playing it all that much. Last game lost to TOOBASED, then it was Season 1, and then before that, it was actually all the way back at TI6 versus DC. That was the last time that he played it. So it's been a little while, but this is one of the heroes of the patch.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't play carry for most of that time.
That's fair.
But, yeah, I'm surprised. Like, he was on EG with Sumail and Artur, playing like mid and offlane, and like, or what was he? He was mid that patch. Never mind. I don't even know what's happening. My memory's failing. I think he played mid, and was that true? Was Artur was carry and Sumail was offlane, right? That's what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I'll go with you there.
He wasn't playing carry. He didn't play Luna. I don't know what's happening. I'm old.
I mean, I think that the biggest thing about it is just like, you know, that it's not been working too well so far. It feels like in some ways the envy factors come into play a little bit with Luna, where a lot of people are wanting to pick it up. And I'm curious what the actual like win rate has been, because for me at least it hasn't looked like sort of game breaking.
It hasn't. And that hero, Boris gets caught by the Brambles here actually.
Fancy footwork. Nice.
He doesn't quite have the level 4 monster for that point in sprint. Luna's like such an odd hero, because I think Noxo actually linked me a very cool stat about the fastest farmers of the patch. But she was 5th on that, I think, and she's a really fast farmer. I think she's actually a bit faster than that. Most people don't go this 1-4-4 build that we saw from Fear last game.
Right.
But her timings are weird, because her steroid isn't similar to other heroes. Like, you need 2 heroes beside each other in order for your steroid to do a lot of damage.
Right.
As opposed to like you see someone like Troll, he just gets attack speed hitting one target, so his damage is consistent. And what that leads to is like she can get really fat, but it's not always simple to carry the game. At the same time, she's one of the best base breakers. So if you get really fat, and you hit a timing, then this hero looks really good.
Well, and likewise, you know, you can talk all you want about, as we're actually seeing, they need to do this. Ryo is already in here hitting with the catapult on it. This is crazy. Early movement, 3 heroes mid from both teams. They keep the catapult alive. Mu takes over the creep. So pretty tanky on this one as they're trying to kill off that catapult. And Z-Freak dropping down brambles. It's not easy for them to stop this pressure.
I gotta say though, they forced the storm home. And in a pub or in most games, this mid tower is dead, and it's huge for the Radiant team. But the comms on TOOBASED, they just look to be on point, you know? They're calmly analyzing the situation, like, hey, can we defend mid-tower? The 2 supports will be like, no, we can't defend the tower. It's like, Monkey's like, you know what, I can come. And it's like, a simple decision like that changes the course of this game. Because if this mid-tower dies, Nyx access on top tower, that tower's dead too. But because they made the decision, like, DP's a type of hero where if you slow down her exorcisms, like, she's a completely different hero. It's just good decision-making by them.
Tyrion gets the kick back there. Mu trying to back out. Z-Freak still staying in lane as Monster chasing in. They're just letting this troll tank through the entire wave, and first blood taken by Moo as they still move in on Boris. Gets level 6 though, right there. And now trying to stay alive. Annihilate shows up actually. Still 4 heroes top right now for Sad Boys, and Annihilate kind of needs to be careful here. I don't think he can force them off this tower. Dude, you weren't wrong about this Enchantress and the early pressure she's putting onto these towers. Although Monkeys comes in with 1 round of Chakram. Dude, Monkeys is salvaging this game right now, literally for simply TOOBASED, and wants to run down Fear. Might be able to as well with the Chakram out, pulls it back in, gets the kill. Ryoya finds the finish there onto Annihilate, but Monkeys making this rotations might keep this tower alive, and I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, this is the level of play Monkeys is exhibiting here is really impressive, honestly. Like, I think a lot of Timbersaw is like, the enemy carry leaves the lane, what do? You go tank the tower, you take that tower. But Monkeys has successfully, like, honestly, he's nullified what I expected Moo and Ryoya were going to be able to combine to do. He's played this game really well. This is good stuff, honestly.
Yeah. And now coming down bottom. Oh, not going to get it. That was illusion up top.
Oh, Ryoya had the illusion.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Iron Knight starts zipping for it, but they have a ward on top rune. Which is cool because Radiant's gonna think, guys, they have no ward on the rune.
Right,
but they
exactly.
actually have both wards on the rune, so just a middle. Like sometimes honestly, like when they're on top of the rune, they take it so fast you don't actually see it.
No.
It happens, you know.
That's
but,
fair.
Like, yeah, wasn't that top that weird though? They dove troll for like 25 seconds. Storm had no TP yet. Or I don't know what's happening. Shadow Demon had TP, but no one came. And now this Nyx Axis on mid tower.
They do have a glyph again, and they're starting to show up 4 heroes in the area as Monkeys makes the walk on over yet
they're
again.
They're bringing 5 on Dire. They really want to contest these towers.
They pull back in onto Monster. In trouble. He's dead. They will get the mid tower, and I don't know if they can catch anything else afterwards. Boris trying to chase on. Again, nobody in the side lanes right now except for Luna. Fear's the only one. I don't know. Like, it feels like they got those initial reactions, and now it's. Do you think it's overreaction? Do you think this is still fine for them?
I think that was a little bit of an overcompensation. I mean, if they catch Moo here, that's like, it's sort of making up for it, but I don't know if that was good for them net worth-wise. Like, I don't think they're going to pressure this mid-tower. Luna farmed a lot, but most importantly, like, I think they had, like, Radiant used a lot of resources mid there, right? They popped the Exo, you know. The thing is, like, Cho didn't have to run there. That's my problem with it. Like, he could have TP'd in at the end if they needed to fight. I don't think there's ever a reason to bring 5 heroes defensively, walk 5 heroes defensively, unsmoked to your tower. It doesn't make sense in my head. What I would have liked to see is Troll to like spam on this bot wave really fast, because he had a double wave going to the tower, and then drag the next wave to a neutral camp and fast farm really fast, and then he would have gotten more, and honestly, he could have still TP'd in and made the same play. It just ended up feeling a little bit too forced. Like, if I exo mid and they walk 5 heroes mid and I do 0 damage to the tower, I am happy as DP. But they didn't just do that. They got the tower and they forced 5 heroes. So that ends up like it was so ungreedy from TOOBASED that ends up being really good for Radiant there.
Right.
Look at Monster. He's trying to hunt for Empyrean. He's cutting trees. Empyrean just, that's a... Where did he get there? How did he get there?
He cookied over the side.
Oh, like the top of the map?
Yeah,
And he didn't break any trees, huh? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a smart play. And that sort of lets him get a little bit of experience, because he was definitely hurting. Bottom of the net worth and only level 4 right now at 10 minutes.
I gotta say, how Sad Boys are playing this map is much better. Like, this Timbersaw is reacting and making really good moves to defend.
Right.
But you can see when he goes there, they don't overcommit on him. They poke him. They're just farming. They're happy with that. He comes mid, they go top. He comes top, they go back mid. And then he's mid again, they go back top. And you see they slowly progress the map in spite of these moves from Dire. And as a result, they have a tower lead. Their wagon bottom dies for TOOBASED, so that was pretty sad. And, you know, the map's looking good for them. All they have to do now is keep the towers alive, and they will automatically outfarm the enemy team.
Right. Well, and that's going to be the big question mark, right? Like, can they do that? It looks like bottom, it's not easy for Boris to take this one out by any stretch of the imagination. And likewise up top, like, they're still getting some farm on these supports, but Monster is going to be difficult to deal with. Isn't rushing the Blink Dagger, wanting to get instead Ring of Health, and looks like he also has the Hood coming on out right now as well. So he's going to be that big tanky menace. We'll have to watch how this goes.
And I like that choice. I think when you're ahead in towers, the thing that matters, like, tower, everyone knows towers matter a lot. But I think, oh, look at Z-Freak, 1 second.
Yeah, he's dead though. Super gone.
He's okay. He's fine.
Okay. All right.
He's fine in 26 seconds. like the thing about towers is like everyone knows towers are important, but I think a key piece of information that people don't think about, it's not about killing towers, it's about having a tower disparity. Like if you take 3 of your opponent's towers and they take 3 of your towers, your map control is the exact same. And it's a really simple concept and it's like really obvious when you say it, but like it doesn't get enacted in pubs. Like honestly, if I was playing on Radiant, I'd be like, how dare this troll hit my bot tower?
Right.
Like how honestly, like there's no way this troll should have got bot tower.
Yeah.
If Radiant were a bit more up to date with the Dota theory, or maybe like thinking about it, you can just be off some days too, right?
Right. Of
But like,
course.
if I see an EU team and I hit this tower, they're TPing 3 heroes on me, and I'm dying as a carry, and I will feel so dumb. But instead, like Boris makes this play, he takes a risk, and it pays off for him. And at the same time, like I'm saying, like Radiant should have done something, but they don't know that there aren't dire heroes behind them as well, right? Like Dota's a very game of what do you call those games? Like you don't have all the knowledge.
Imperfect information.
Yeah, like StarCraft, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Versus like chess.
Yeah, exactly. Like you
Right.
don't know what Dire's doing exactly, but that helped Dire a lot.
Definitely. Well, and Boris being able to play down here for so long, farm out that hard camp, things are looking good for him. Still working towards that Battle Fury. He's definitely behind, but
For
there's
sure.
this like trifecta of heroes, and there's that catch-up potential that he has if he can get into that Battle Fury and
Well,
clear out this
mid
ancient
lane,
stack as
this
mid.
Timbersaw?
They're going to try and take him down. Monkeys did get caught by that root, and they'll find the finish. So Exo used for that, and now
that's a
right
Roshan
into
right there.
Roche. This is huge if they can get this one cleanly.
The sadboys
Um,
they're mad about last game. You can see their play. They really are.
Well, I mean, Empyrean's here. He's got ulti. They know they're
True.
going right into Roche with this. I'm not sure if this is going to end up working. Snapfire ultimate already going out now. Boris playing a little bit of footsie in here with them. But now with Snapfire ulti down, and Boris, he gets silenced, doesn't have ulti. Oh, the save though. The turnaround. Terrorized goes out. Great combo and gets the kill onto Boris. That one hurts. But now, maybe with the Terrorized down, they can go in and fight. They kill off Z-Freak. Now turning on to Royoya, got hit with the Shadow Demon ulti and nowhere left to go. I mean, that's one of the big answers that simply TOOBASED have for the DP this game is SD's just so good against her.
That was a 5 stack of level 4 poison. Just popped a DP in a second. But what I want to mention there is like, I mean, that ended up being pretty good for Tire. I was honestly shocked that Roshan did die there. That's a slaughter app with Exo with a level 4 Luna Aura.
Right.
Honestly, I can't understand why. Roshan's just really strong early, I guess. But did you see that ultimate from Dark Willow? She hit the ultimate frame perfect so that Boris couldn't ulti. Like, I don't know for sure if Boris was trying to ulti there, but you actually can frame perfect stuff like that. I think. That's not Magic Community.
Uh-oh, going in for more now.
Ooh,
Gets caught, the
Eclipse?
Eclipse is down, trying to live. Monkeys gets saved again. Silence onto everybody. Monkeys still tanking through that damage, but he doesn't have enough. In the end, they kill him off. Ready to go round for 2, but Roche, I don't think he's actually low enough. Only half HP.
Yeah, it's a bit scary to fight there without your Exo and your Luna ulti.
Right. Sad trombone. I'm sorry.
Sad trombone. I'm wondering if maybe they should get some blade mails on the Dire side. Like I'm just thinking of it because I annihilate spelled from last time, but they actually have DP, Willow, and Luna. All 3 have uncontrollable AoE damage. That's when blade mail really excels. I think something that's happened in this game is that TOOBASED's read on the map is not quite as good as I felt it was in the other game. I think it feels weird because it's snowballed from when Troll was like running mid and stuff, but I feel like they took this bot tower and no heroes have progressed in that lane. I think like Storm is pretty unkillable there. He could farm really fast if he just kept pushing this lane. And it's not about the farm speed, it's about the fact that Radiant would then have to react with the hero bottom so you can make plays on the map. Right now, the map seems tight. Like, this Troll is constantly being run at, and he doesn't feel good. This is one of the slowest battle phases on Troll I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah.
In contrast to, like, Boris's very stellar play last game.
Ulti drop down again, this time on the monster, finding the back line. I Annihilate jumps in there, Terrorize afterwards, dodges away. Curse Crown, going to connect. Whoa! He didn't dodge it.
Yikes.
I Annihilate. That is not what you want to see.
And that's another Exo right beside the Roshan pet. Sadboys, there's one thing that... I mean, how do I say this? Like, one of the things I like best about Fear, I was about to phrase it in some way that sounds really flavy, which is dumb because I respect Fear a lot, right? Like, obviously, it's Fear Dota. One thing is, like, he's really good at thinking about fights in a way that lead to Roshan, I think.
Right.
Like, he'll say, like, we should play this area, I have this timing, blah, 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 and then you'll be like, okay, that sounds good. And then you do something that he says, and his like 50 years of Dota experience just lead to it like chaining into another objective, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't think it would be this good, but it just is, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the unfortunate part is that they weren't able to that time around.
They weren't. But just the threat, you know, like the thing is, a lot of Dota, like we saw that earlier in the game where they kept moving the Timbersaw to different lanes and playing well. If you played the map properly, sometimes just moving heroes somewhere is like just as valuable as getting kills on them. The fact that they have Roshan threat means that like these heroes from Dire are like huddled around this area trying to fight into the Radiant Vision. Like this Roshan has done more damage to Dire than I think an Aegis would have.
Right.
Plus, you can still get the Aegis later, right? Like they're cementing their advantage just with this Roshan threat. Then they'll get the Aegis with this advantage and be able to use it better.
So you think that this is still like pretty solid for them? You don't feel like Sadboys needed to have taken this and then snowballed that into more advantage around the map? You think it's okay, just the fact that like, you know, TOOBASED is sort of stuck in an area?
So I'm not sure. Like this was a 16 and a half minute battle Fury on Boris, which I think is pretty slow for Tro standards. The hero's really strong in lane, so generally he gets more farm. But Fear actually went for Dragonlance Manta instead of the normal Mask of Madness, so he's farming. Like I would actually expect Fear at 18 minutes to maybe be like 10k net worth here.
Okay.
So like, and maybe he has his reasonings, right? Like he understands he has a DP and an Enchantress. He wants to group up more with the team. It's obviously worked well for his map. This game would be completely different, again, if they defend a bot tower. So I can see the reasoning with the Luna build. I'm not trying to criticize that. But the end result is that he will farm slightly less than he would have otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of... I'm not too sure how that plays into like your game plan. Bot lane.
Oh, this is bad. Orchid's there. Super ready for that. And they're not even going to need the SD ulti. Just done.
Yeah, and it's so hard to itemize for this this DP. Like, look at it. She has 2 nulls, travels, and she's rushing a BKB.
Right.
And... honestly, when I see that, I'm like, that looks really dumb. But I think that's the right decision, because how else do itemizing exist? She has to deal with the Orchid from Storm, she has to deal with the Purge from SD, she has to deal with the physical from Troll, and the magical damage from all those heroes on top of it. Like, the only thing that can save you is BKB.
Well,
but
BKB not even
that, right?
like BKB's not even necessarily going to save you either.
Sure,
like if you get SD ultied and trolls on you, you're still probably dead.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you can do the best build, like you can do the best thing possible, and still be just counted its game. I mean, that's the nature of the draft, right? You pick the CP here early, you might get punished.
Well, you can see that one of the things that TOOBASED has sort of been riding to success is the versatility of Boris there. Played 8 different heroes so far in 9 matches.
They're just hitting Roshan.
Dude, this is huge.
Chad?
They're going in. I mean, they see monster mid, they see DP mid, they think they can take it in time, and they're going to do it. This is wild. They're going to get there in time and get the free Aegis.
They literally just walked into Roshan and killed it.
Oh my god, and now the follow-up fight. Monster gets jumped on right at the start. Moo can't believe it. She's like, guys, get the hell out of here. They're coming for us now. iAnnihilate gets an Aegis for himself on Storm. What a huge win for Simply TOOBASED.
So all that stuff I was talking about, they're using this Roshan positively. They're controlling the map. They're taking on this net worth. What it ended up with is their follow-up wasn't quite correct to take the map to gain that worth in order to take this fight at Roshan and get it. And all of a sudden, Dire get this Roshan, and it all looks really stupid because, you know, maybe you should have just taken the objective earlier. But wow, what a play. They have, and I gotta say, the itemization is different. Like, the level of planning, I think, is really good from TOOBASED. Because the reason they could get this Roshan is because Empyrean got this medallion. Whereas if you click on this Enchantress, when they went for Roshan, she had 2 fluffy hats and a treads. Like, that's a lot of gold that's not called Medallion. And I think Medallion could have made the difference for taking Roshan. Something about Roshan that they did was they made his armor really high, but they lowered his HP pool. And how armor works is like, each point of armor closer to the original value as a percentage of how much EHP it gives you is more valuable. Because, you know, 600 means more when you're 6k EHP than it does if you're 100k EHP. 600 is a bigger percent. So Medallion moves it a lot closer.
Exactly.
I don't know if I should be talking about this, but
it's good numbers. I just hear a lot of numbers there, and I'm going to agree with you, Aui. It sounds great.
I gotta say, like, they're sort of punished. Like, I feel like Radiant should have got a lot more of this map. They're going on Storm here, though.
Well, he's got an Aegis, Aui. The man has an Aegis.
He just got cookied into
Dude,
the
he's
other
going to get
battle.
terrorized. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Disaster! Oh, my God. Simply TOOBASED, we're tooting your horn.
Who plays this word?
And
Dota,
they're going to kill off Lee. Ugh. Rough.
Moo managed, like... I mean, that's a... Oh, they're catching more here.
Empyrean going down next. Talked about chain in plays. They're not going to get him in time. Manages to back
Okay.
out of there, but
So Wu plays this
Oof.
amazing ward. I don't know how he got this ward when the enemy controls the jungle. I don't know if they were controlling the jungle. Honestly, I was thinking about math, and I'm not smart enough to think about that while looking at stuff, so I was just doing nothing. But yeah, they want to fight versus Arcane Rune Storm with Aegis, and all TOOBASED wanted to do during that time was to farm the BKB on start. What's happening? Dude, does Boris care about anything in Dota?
no, he doesn't. He just runs in, he hits Roche, he runs in, he hits Enchantress.
Dude.
Yeah, he's
What
just
is
going
hap-
for it. Well, Storm's back up again now, and he's pissed. I Annihilate, not pleased with what happened earlier, and gonna try and punish. Pulls back Z-Freak. How dare you kill me and terrorize me afterwards? Z-Freak's still getting out of there, but no, he's done.
Wow. That
The
was...
thing,
What
the
was...
thing-
Wait.
Go for it.
I have to ask you before you... Because, like, I'm too confused. I can't think about anything else. Can you explain to me what just happened? There are two dead heroes on Dire. The carry walks up to the enemy support, and he just murks her. Like, she's just dead.
Yeah.
Like, alright, sorry. Continue with your point. I just had to... I'm so confused.
Well, the thing about it that's so interesting, right, is that it feels like what you were talking about earlier. Each team does one good play, and then in response to their good play, they end up doing like the bad thing afterwards. You get the Aegis, you make a really like clutch read, and then you immediately feed it away. You know, you're sad boys now. You manage to find the hero right when he's out of position, and then you immediately lose a couple of heroes to it afterwards. It feels like there's this pendulum of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back that we've got going in this game. And, you know, that's the type of thing that a Luna draft can punish really well if you're managing to make it to the base.
I mean, I will say, though, that, like, it's not like Boris is doing this with no thought, right? He's not, like, just doing it. He's calculating this. The reason he could do that is because they use Exo and Luna, and the pendulum you're talking about in Dota, it happens a lot, and often it's based on, like, the big ultimates, I think, right? You know, Radiant popped their big ultimates to take this fight, they won the fight, okay, now it's Dire's time to shine. And part of, like, your job as a Dota player is to, like, think about those swings and how you can either nullify them or use them strongly. And one of the ways, for example, to nullify them is after you use your big ultimates, you need to push every single lane out, because if you don't push your lane out, they'll have pressure on the map and they'll use it to fight you while you have no ultimates.
Right.
And one thing I also want to mention is that I think Mu thought he couldn't die there because he's really tanky at Fluffy hat treads and a medallion. But the SOI on Boris, the stats resist actually reduces the amount of attack speed loss that Untouchable gives him. So even though Untouchable is like 120 attack speed, he could still build up those stacks off Fervor, and eventually you like completely surpass Untouchable. He just kills her there.
Yeah. Well, that's something to watch for sure.
And Flea set up on top. Can they kill this guy?
I'm not sure if they can.
I think they can kill him.
There.
Get him.
They're thinking about it.
Get him. Get him.
Yeah, as soon as he heads out of the trees, then they're going to be able to go. So the pull back in there, a couple quick kills. Oh, the silence
Amazing
though
silence.
from Royoya. And then the TP away. And that should keep him alive. As I Annihilate needs to jump away. You know, I will say also, Flea is going to have an amazing game right now. He's got a ton of net worth, not quite as much as the Enchantress with the Solar Crest done, but Blink Aether on this hero is like nuts.
Yeah, he's huge. I thought the support duo of Dire would feel awkward and it would lead to them not being able to push forward on the map. They've also done a good job of covering their weaknesses with how like the Timbersaw and Storm are playing.
Right.
And Shadow Demon, like, man, when you get like A on this Aghanim Scepter, like you're different beast. Mid lane, they're eclipsing this monkeys forever, but ooh.
Disruption, keeping him alive for the moment. Silence comes out afterwards on the backline. Storm trying to chase and kill Z-Freak. They managed to find that stun. Timber's still living through all of that. Terrorize will connect, but they still get the kill on Z-Freak. So,
oh man, that's a feels bad for the Radiant. They popped Eclipse. They have the Slaughter hero. When you think of Slaughter, you're like, if I see one hero, I'm gonna amp him, I'm gonna click him, and he's gonna die. But yo, Monkeys, he has full stacks. He went a really good build this game, I think. He went for those. Oh, they're on Flea. They got low
yeah, nicely chased. Although the pullback now, catching on to Monster. Can they kill him off in time? The Orchid Burn is enough. So they immediately dewarded Flea and thought that they could kill him afterwards, but weren't quite able to get there. And
they
that's
still
this
had that,
ward again.
They still had that really good ward from Radiant. I think,
Oh,
like
do you
that
see
looks.
that?
Oh, he put the sentry right after it died. Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
Sad. I think that was actually. It looks dumb from Slaughter, right? Like he sort of just jumped him and fed. But in my opinion, his team was too slow for him there. Like the Cho TP top, he saw the Cho TP, and his team's not ready to jump. Like they should have been there with him, and I think that should have been a good fight for Radiant. It's just unfortunate that like you see those plays like Slaughter 3-2-2.
Got to be careful trying to get the D ward out, and they will get it eventually as they take away the wards. Simply TOOBASED don't feel comfortable going any further. And now some Luna illusions. I mean, this is pretty nice for SD as well.
I forgot about this, the disruption.
Right.
Oh, but Enchantress can take one back.
Exactly.
That's a counterplay.
Yeah, the counter to the counter. Pretty good stuff.
Okay, that's neat. Do you still want to disrupt the enemy? I think you still want to disrupt her because you get the one illusion, which provides like full night vision plus aura. But that's actually a really good counter. It sort of makes like Enchantress, if you think of her as a hero, she has like this extremely high tempo early game. She has really good laning. She pushes all the early towers. Her problem is that all her contribution later on in the game is that she can sort of be tanky. She's not even really tanky, and she doesn't really provide any team fight. But if you're removing an SD illusion, then you're a team fight hero. You know, you turn this tempo hero into a team fight hero, and that's the best way to play. You have good laning, you have good team fight. What more do you want?
I think the thing that's going to be interesting to watch is how Flea prioritizes his disruption. Is he using it for saves, or is he using it for like that offensive use on Luna? Because there have been a couple of points where it's felt like he really needed to get that disruption off to make sure that that full combo doesn't come out and just blow people up. But Boris, again, just up on high ground, beating away at the tower. Monkeys is there, tanking through it as well. And they're not going to get back in time to really stop this tower from going down. Tier 3 done.
Dude, Boris actually makes the best moves in Dota. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, his move is literally like, I see support, I walk to support, and I kill him.
Right.
I see tier 3, I walk to tier 3, and I kill it. And Raider are just like, yo, bro, you can't do that. Like, and he just does it, and they're like, surprise Pikachu face, you know? Like, it's crazy.
I can relate. Yeah.
How does this... You know, this guy, like, I play a lot of party kill, right? And sometimes I'll have, like, pretty strong stacks, and we can't find a game. And, like, Boris will be like, I'm sniping you. And he literally solo kills us into us in normal unranked and just fucks us up. Like, this man has, like, no fear. He doesn't care. Sometimes he, he's like, I want to snipe you, but my stack's too strong. It won't be fun. Because he only cares if he's against the odds, you know? Like, what? Very Chad, you know?
It's a mentality thing, right? It's like he's sort of EE light, you know?
And it's funny because, like...
Okay.
Oh, sorry, EE. I don't know. I don't think EE does that, actually. I think EE just only plays solo queue, you know?
I meant get better as the odds are against you, more so.
Oh, yeah, EE's a very, like... Yeah, actually, I have a tip for teams who play against EE. I've seen EE win more games when he's missing Raxes than when he's taken Raxes. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. Like, stats don't lie.
Give him a little bit of an edge there, yeah, and then you'll take it back later. God, how did we get onto him again? We already had that series, and it's still just it is my fault. Literally, it's my fault. You're right. Oh God, what have I done?
And you know, something about Boris is like this guy. He's like the DPC is like discovering these new players. I think Boris is definitely one of them. A lot of people like in the pro scene like know him. They like him. He's a very likable guy, very funny. Doesn't like doing things in the public eye very much, so I don't know when he's gonna break that shroud of shyness that we see with a lot of pro players. But even like back in like, I'd be like coaching Ford Gaming, and there'd be like doing NA qualifiers, and be like Boris would be playing Terrorblade, and it'd be like him and 4 goobers, and he would just carry 1v10, and be like, who is this guy? Like this might be the best NA player. Like we don't know who he is. And it was just so funny because it'll be like Resolution saying this, right? Like he doesn't know any NA players. Oh, Storm jumping on Enchantress.
Immediately bashed. Save afterwards coming out from Flea. Terrorize wasted. Can they fight now afterwards? Monkeys moves in, but that Curse Crown. They do blow up afterwards. Monster though. So a trade of 1 for 1, but Storm going down hurts a lot. Buyback coming from the Slardar wants to get involved in the fight. He has to TP from far away. Over on the other side, Boris is walking away, and it looks like they're just going to reset. Is this to secure second Roche? I mean, they don't have buyback on Annihilate.
Dude, Boris is hitting creeps. He doesn't care. Oh, good save.
Oh, things are looking a little scary right now, though. Danger, danger. Jumps through and kills off Monster.
Dude.
Oh, that's not good. He just
see Monkeys Forever? He was like, call an ambulance, but not for me. And he just one-shots the Slaughter. Like, the Slaughter built Hood, and he literally took 80% of the HP from Monkeys Forever.
My God, if they lose another right here, Fear has to back out. You gotta be careful. Creating some illusions. Enchantress took one of them back. They're punching each other. A battle in futility. But in the end, Simply TOOBASED are going to have their Storm back up. No Slaughter for 40. I mean, I'm wondering if they're just gonna walk back into Roche again. This is second Roche.
I think Boris is gonna be like, me want Roshan, me hit Roshan, me get Aegis. Like, this is how this man plays. Look at him. He just hits it. He's like, I want DD, spawn me DD. I hit Roshan. Easy game.
Oh no. Oh my god.
They should give
they're
this
gonna get
Aegis to
it.
the troll. I hope they don't give it to Storm here.
Oh, sad boys. They want to contest so badly, but they just know that they can't, and now they're stuck around here. If they don't careful, they're gonna get chased down one by one. Fear controlled, gets hit by the big old ulti. The illusions of himself are killing himself. Fear goes down. And now Moo to fall as well. Maybe not. I mean, he's running out of there, but
Nope.
they're
Boris
all
sees
around
support,
him.
Boris kills support. He has the extra Titan Sliver.
goodness.
This Untouchable barely slows his attack speed at this point with the SOI and Titan Sliver. Now that we have some downtime, I want to talk about the original fight because just so much happened there. But
Right.
I saw they went on the Storm, right? Or maybe Storm jumped the sword. I don't remember what happened. It's been so long. I have memory loss. So Flea was actually really patient with this disrupt there.
Right.
And I was like, I was about to compliment him, but he actually, I think he pressed it like one server tick too early. Because when Storm got out of the disruption, he was still Willow feared, so he couldn't get his BKB off. I think something that players don't appreciate enough is just being patient with your spells. Like if Flea, he was doing it. He had the right idea. He barely misexecuted, but if he had done it right away, the Willow ulti would have still been on for 1 second, and they would have killed Storm anyways. I mean, it didn't affect anything because he sort of messed up. But it would have looked really good if he did. Like Storm gets BKB off and they turn there. That play was nice. Almost nice.
Well, and it's showing the power of this position for Shadow Demon. Like that ability to reset against these huge teamfight ultimates, it completely changes the complexion of the game where you only get like 75% out of it or 50% out of it.
Have you seen Slaughter's net worth?
Yeah, dude, it ain't good.
Yeah, don't Google Slaughter's net worth. Not
Okay, good to know. You're such a little memer. Unbelievable.
Honestly, I don't know how to communicate anymore. I don't speak to humans during Corona, so all I do is spout memes. Like, I'm a lost cause at this point. All
One
I have
of us.
is the memes.
One of us. This is the way to do it.
I'm gonna stop now. I'm under control.
No,
I'm
you're
just
not.
too
It's
happy
fine.
seeing. You know, I actually Monkeys Forever asked me to help out with this 2-base team.
Okay.
So I went over a replay with them, and I'm very happy that like I'm seeing like instant results from how they're playing. Like it looks so solid, and I didn't think it would help them this much, but I'll take all the credit for it because they're looking
There
good.
you go. The job application for coaching duties later on as Monster is gonna go down there.
At this point, like I'm ready to ride on this Boris guy to win TI. Like I want my free money. Like look at him, he's so good.
They're killing it. 10-21. Monkeys Forever again walking in, and they're gonna start taking down the buildings. Flamethrower's pretty good. An unbelievably solid performance right now in game number 2 for Simply TOOBASED, taking down Sad Boys, who, again, I think they came in as the favorites, but some really impressive stuff coming out right here from Simply TOOBASED.
Shadowman's eggs, by the way. He ulted the Enchantress and instantly broke her. Nothing happened from it, but that's pretty cool.
Z-Freak.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Trying to get out of there.
More important.
Well, I don't know if it's even a fight going on right now, to be honest. They're just walloping them. And they're out.
Clean retreat from TOOBASED. And one thing I gotta say though is I really would have preferred for this Aegis to be on Tro. I think if Tro had the Aegis, he could have kept hitting those buildings. And it's not like if Storm dies this game, like Storm needs BKB to go in. So his death is like not important in a way. Like his second life, I mean. Like normally Storm Aegis is easily one of the best in the game. But not when like there's so many stuns and disabled, and if you go in without BKB, like you only get BKB once, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What you're saying is he needs Refresher on Storm next. That's the item choice for him. Okay.
And I was thinking like this eggs on Shadow Demon is actually really cool because you disrupt this Luna and then you break her. So your illusions are actually both better than the Luna illusions because she won't have Glaives or Aura.
Right.
That's a big deal.
That's fair. That's devastating, in fact.
There aren't that many breaks in Dota, but I'm sort of curious if you get broken on Luna, like do you immediately lose a night vision from your Aura? Because I think you should, right?
That seems reasonable to me.
It does, but like we're playing Dota, so I don't know if that's like the logic works. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that it should though, because it seems like the type of thing that if you code it, where if it breaks, then it's just gone. Right? Yeah,
that does
you would
make
think
sense.
that.
There's like an 80% chance we're wrong, so.
Maybe it doesn't even affect Luna.
No, there's some messed up interactions in Dota. Like
that's true.
You know, you can E-blade yourself and then BKB, and it won't purge your E-blade, so you're like magic immune and E-bladed. but you can't do it with Ghost Scepter or Pugna Decrypt.
Wow. What
Like,
about
why?
Necro thing?
No, you can't do a Necro either. It's only E-Blade. Like,
yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure. I guess maybe. Yeah, no, there's no reason for that. There's
yeah,
literally no
that's
reason.
why you don't try to understand the game. You just feel the game. And I gotta say, I think Boris's item pickups, when you're this far ahead, I like itemizing in a way that makes it hard to kill you. I think he
Right.
already has enough damage this game. The Shadow Demon does a lot of damage. Honestly, all 4 of the other heroes on his team do a lot of damage. All he has to do is have the Scotty Satanic with the cheese and stand in front for them. He's gonna sell
Right.
his wand here, think he's gonna pick up the Satanic, and he's gonna go high ground. Just go hit high ground, put your phase boots in your backpack. I'd be very surprised if he waits for Roshan, not because it's a wrong choice, but because Boris is just too based, you know?
Right. Simply.
Like, look at him. No, he's just gonna hit this. This backdoor
Yeah.
protection, it doesn't stop him. Just hit
Building
him.
up the stacks first. That's what he's doing right now. And of course,
Look
the
at this.
flamethrower there as well. Try and stop him. Can't stop him. Boris backs
Ooh,
away.
Boris Axel?
Monkeys maybe in some trouble here. Monkeys gets the Timber Chain out of there. Gonna get stunned. They do have the save from Shadow Demon, who's on the other side, blinks in, able to get the disruption. It's on to Royoya, and that means that they can get out with the rest of their heroes.
Good choice there by Flea. I think a lot of people would have just disrupted their Timbersaw there.
Right.
But said he chose to disrupt the DP. The thing, if you disrupt your Timbersaw there, you're literally just giving the enemy team 2.75 seconds to set up on him. So
Right.
really good decision making there.
Well, now
Look at Boris.
Exo's down.
Boris C carry, Boris hit
Oh,
carry. Carry dead.
Fleer trying to get out of there. Terrorize comes out, but the BKB response was there already. And now the beatdown, the freaking soul catcher, everything thrown out in the kitchen sink as they dive in. Boris taking no prisoners as they pull back in Moo. He also is going to fall, and GG is called. They're done.
Boris C mid, Boris hit mid, mid dies. Nah, it's just like, for a game where he only got a 16-minute Battlefield Control, which is considered pretty slow, I think his play was just, it was honestly on the next level. That was
That was
really
good.
good.
Very good. I'm very impressed. I think that we all kind of had an idea that Simply TOOBASED could come in and take this one, but there was still, at least for me, that inkling in the back of my head that sadboys was probably going to clutch it out. But you know, this team proven there's a reason they made it through that Div 2, looked so solid doing it, and I'm really impressed with them. I want to see how far they can go with it.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of a revenge match, right? Because Z-Freak
Yeah.
left the team for, gotta
Of
say it. He left the team. He didn't believe in them, and
Yeah.
this is the best feeling when you can just shove it back in their faces. So yeah, nah, they honestly looked on another level. That was good Dota from TOOBASED there.
Very good. And now, you know, thinking about what this can mean, the broader implications, we're gonna have to take a look at it. But it definitely hurts for sadboys, feeling quite good for Simply TOOBASED. I can't remember all the people that they've faced off against yet. But you know, we're thinking about like what this means for relegation, what this means for other stuff going forward. Also, we have no idea what the hell's going to happen after TI anyways, so maybe none of it matters. But regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to do going forward here. And what's sort of your read of this team and where they stand throughout the rest of NA right now?
On TOOBASED or sadboys?
TOOBASED.
TOOBASED.
they
I'm
won. We're
liking
talking about
their
them.
progression. I think they're improving at a rate that, for me, is like sort of unseen. Usually, like as mentioned before, like the DPC Neo system, it allows for this improvement to be very like you can visually see it between series because you have so long to think about the game and plan between series. So it's like unprecedented how fast they're improving for me because usually like so I was
High
just
is the
talking,
ceiling.
I forgot the question. Like I don't.
It's okay. Don't worry
like,
about it.
they're
Your
playing
brain
well,
is
they're
moving
looking
in so
good,
many different ways.
They're looking good, and I'm impressed. That's all. Like,
All right, that sounds
yeah.
great. Aui, I love
honestly,
it
Boris,
so much.
Boris, like he just ruined my mind. Like I can't think anymore. My thoughts are just like the next pub I want to play. I want to try to play like Boris, except I'll just feed. And
Okay.
yeah.
We can all do that. We'll all be a little bit more like
can all
Boris.
feed together.
That's right. Well, everybody, that's going to do it for our second series, a quick 2-0, as Simply TOOBASED able to take it out over sadboys. We're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, the panel's going to break down all the action, close out the show. See y'all in a few.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That will be concluding our DPC action today. It's TOOBASED to get the W at the end, and well, it went according to plan, at least from what we heard from Flea at the top of the series. He said it was going to be an easy 2-0. I don't know how easy it was, but a 2-0 indeed. And now TOOBASED are just looking like a team that has certainly owned their spot in the D1. They have now taken down multiple teams who were not relegated from the lower division, who have been in a D1 position, and now it's a team that you don't totally want to mess with. I'm back here, of course, with Jenkins and Sunsfan. And Sunsfan, I'll start on the outside this time. You know, Boris, my good old friend Lacoste would call him Boris the Blade back in King's Cup. He's still coming through, taking names. You know, you mentioned Jenkins. He's a 200 ranked pub player. Aui is just totally mind blown by him. This guy seems like he's certainly going to be on the up and up as a core.
He is turning on beast mode. That is for sure. I mean, the game overall, like the first 75% of it was pretty even. Boris, compared to game one, got off to a much slower start. Fear was out farming, which, you know, should be the case as a Luna, but he got like Battle Fury on Troll at like 17 plus minutes, which is not particularly good timing. But I mean, AUI was talking about, he just had no fear at all. No pun intended, I guess, there. But would just walk in, kill people, just literally got whatever he wanted. And I think the turning point of the game for me, maybe Jenkins will he'll disagree regardless whether it's correct or not. But
I disagree.
sadboys, they tried to go for that first Roche and they got interrupted, and they had opportunities maybe to go in again, but they never ended up doing so. And TOOBASED took it for themselves, and that kind of felt like it was the biggest turning point. It just kind of snowballed in favor of TOOBASED overall.
I think sadboys actually played this whole series really well. I think this is one of the best performances we've seen from them. It's just that TOOBASED looks on a completely different level from what we've seen before. I think Aui has had this criticism of them that they seem to always be in the right place, but they're a little bit lazy with their objective taking or their objective defenses. Like, they know where the right place on the map to be is, but they're lazy with their execution of doing that thing that they know they're supposed to do. Not today. Today, they looked absolutely amazing. Monkeys TPing mid to defend the tower at level 5. That's a 5 timber. Like, you don't leave lane usually until 6. So that's an exception. That's an out of the ordinary thing that he did, but it delayed the game so much. And then he did the same TP top. Multiple times we saw TOOBASED bait out the Death Prophet ulti in some way, which is not easy, and then get out and go in afterwards. They just looked like a tier 1 team today. They legitimately did. I'm super impressed, and I agree with Aui that all of these guys they're such nice, great characters that it's good to see somebody, a team like this, getting to tier 1. It's really good to see that, because it's easy to not feel disconnected with these people. They feel like real people. They're not all the way up here at the top. You know, it's like they're the true rags to riches story, which is great to see.
All right. Well, as you can see, it looks like we do have a winner's interview with none other than Monkeys Forever himself. So why don't we go ahead and get him loaded up here? Monkeys Forever, GG, congratulations, and welcome to the broadcast, my man. Hello, hello.
To be here.
It's good to have you here. Now, I know I got to personally talk to you like when you were first coming into D1 League, and you said that, you know, D2, you knew you guys were the top of the block and you were expecting to be undefeated, and then the nerves were going to kick in as you came into D1. Now you've taken down, you know, the sadboys. You already took them down black and yellow. It's looking pretty good that you solidified a spot. Your team continues to get better. So I ask, you know, is this kind of just a natural growth for you and your team, or are you guys actually getting some scrim and practice time in as well?
We're definitely scrimming a lot right now. I mean, we're doing our best to put in the hours to, you know, become a better team, and you know, we're even trying to spend more time together outside of Dota as well, just so like we kind of mesh together as a team a bit better. We actually recently started watching Ted Lasso together, per Aui's suggestion.
I saw your profile.
It's been really fun. But yeah, we're you know, I feel like we definitely came into the upper division with the intention of, you know, just aiming for middle of the block and just, you know, staying in upper division basically, and just improving throughout the season. As I mentioned before, this is the first time we're really playing against all of the best NA teams, so you know, it's definitely like we're still getting used to the quicker pace of Dota that they're showing, but yeah, I mean, obviously we're improving at quite a quick pace, I would say, so I'm very happy.
It looks great. Don't get ahead of yourself, Phil. We don't want an eagle maniac on our hands.
Of
We
course,
do,
no.
course,
Sorry. I mean, not
just
no ego
kidding,
here.
I'm
No
just
ego
kidding.
here.
You guys are way too based. Flea's got that covered for your whole team. And shouts to him for certainly the entertaining pregame. Now, because you're on the show, that means you are subject to Jenkins and Sons fan questioning. So
Oh,
I'll
damn.
throw it to Jenkins' way first. So sorry about that.
Monkeys, this one is more personally for you. I know you're pretty famous for taking these like extended breaks from Dota and then coming back and going from like rank 300 to rank 20 in about a week. The last time you did that, I think it was with Batrider. You've done that multiple times. Now you're looking insanely good in competitive. It looks super clean. So I'm wondering, can you say exactly why you take these breaks? Is it so that you come back stronger, or is that just coincidence that kind of happens?
I mean, even when I take breaks from Dota, I'm still thinking about Dota nonstop. Like I'm watching Dota, I'm watching I'm listening to other people's opinions and stuff. It's just for me personally, playing pubs like consistently day in and day out. It just like it really really messes with like my mental health because like especially in this region, there's just so much there's just so much like negativity, honestly, and it's just like I don't know that really isn't like who I am as a person. So when I play pubs and I want to play pubs and I want to like win, I basically do win because I'm like focusing really hard and everything. But uh, when I'm in like a bad mentality or whatever, and then I just have people like constantly complaining about like their lanes from 5 minutes in, and then they're just like saying go feed down mid. I just like crying about this or that. It's just
Yeah.
like it just gets old to me, and like especially when I'm on a team, it's like playing in a team atmosphere. It's just so fun. Like I mean, this game, like where as soon as we get like one pick, like everyone's just starting to scream profanities, saying like go get them, kill them all, get like I'm not gonna repeat what we say in private, but it's like we're very like just hyped, and it's so fun to play, and I feel like pubs just don't really mimic that for the most part. So I've definitely like taking healthy breaks from pubs, but then Aui goes and
Yeah.
flames my rank, so I gotta get top 10 again.
Fair. Sons fan, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Jenkins, for the great question. Mr. Monkeys Forever. By the way, watch your stream. Big fan. One of the chillest streamers out there for sure.
Thank you.
Are you surprised at all by your team's success? Because it sounds like you kind of just got into this as something for fun. You're trying to get for the middle ground, but it feels like you guys are playing at a higher tier than you were even expecting.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not in this for fun. Like we're working our asses off. It's just I try my best to have realistic expectations whenever like I am with a new team. Like for example, I was with the Zoomers for 9 or 10 months. Like if I was with them going into this, I would be like, we are aiming for top 2, and anything less is it's a disgrace. Like we are putting everything into this. But with this team, like we've only been together for 3.5 months or so, and it's kind of like, you can only get so good so quickly. So it's like you can't go into a tournament like this where you have EG, Quincy, Undying, Zoomers, and like expect to beat them all first try, right? Especially because we haven't been scrimming them. It's a lot. Like you have to be realistic about what you're aiming for with your team. Like our goal is definitely doing well in the TI qualifiers basically, and we're doing everything we can to improve by that time, and that's our goal basically. So the fact that I feel pretty confident that we're going to be staying in upper division right now. So I feel like we achieved our goal, and yeah, I feel like we're all just really happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. I have a quick follow up since I do watch your stream. Like I said, you're obviously known as a broodmother aficionado. With her changes, like a lot of people, there's not a lot of people, at least in my skill, that play this year. So I basically just watch you to gain information. Of course, I'm never going to play because I'm not a disgusting human being. But what do you think about the changes to that hero? Like, it just feels like it plays similarly. It's just more versatile. Is that accurate?
I mean, I don't want to talk about Brood too much, but I feel like you can infer a lot by the fact that the last 2 teams we played against have first phase banned Brood. So if you look at older patches, like that definitely wouldn't have happened because the hero just the hero was countered by like a very specific type of hero, and now Brood has answers against her counters. Basically, like she's very like, you need multiple heroes to be able to deal with her now, and it just is a disaster to play. Like, it's so difficult in my opinion. Obviously, I still don't even think I've fully figured her out. I've only played around like 40 games of her this patch. I feel like I need at least like 60 plus, but yeah, I mean, I think Brood is just she's nutty right now, man. She's nutty.
Have you tried her? Have you tried her shard yet? Because I saw in a game you were 6 slotted buying moon shards for your allies, and you still didn't get shard. Please tell me why.
Just look, I forget about things sometimes. I'm still not used to shards. Hell, I'm still not even used to neutral items. If you watch my stream, it's like 20 minutes into the game. I'm just rocking no neutral item, and like my chat's just spamming no neutral Kappa, like no neutral, no neutral. And at that point, I'm just like, screw you, chat. I'm gonna win without a neutral now. Back sneakers, like, get out of here. I don't need a neutral item.
I have a follow-up for this, for the Brood question. Okay, let's say hypothetically, of course, let's say you're Broodmother and I'm Pudge. Hypothetically,
Okay.
what do you want me as a Pudge to do in your lane to be useful?
The only chance you can ask this question.
I would say just do your best to stop the small pool and zone the 5 to the best of your ability. And like, if you're able to do that until the Brood hits level 3, then you can maybe kill together.
So not sitting in trees, missing hooks.
Yes, that would be
Okay.
a big
That will never
end
fly,
for me.
Okay, got you. Thank
Good
you
try,
for that.
Monkeys, thank you so much for hopping on the broadcast. Always great to speak with you. We hope to speak to some others. I know that there's always the shroud of shyness, as Aui likes to say it, but you guys are certainly stepping up on the Dota field, and that's been entertaining. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right. GG's to Monkeys Forever. Send him some love. He may even be streaming later, so go hit him up on the stream and give him some love there. But that is going to wrap up our DPC action for today, gentlemen. So we'll go ahead and check out the current standings here when available to see, based on today's results, where we do stand. Because, that first series ended up going so long, we didn't really have an opportunity to check out an update as far as, where we are at. And as you could see, because of Undying's takedown earlier against Black and Yellow, they are the new team on top with 4 series now under their belt. They're coasting their way through a lot of the middle and lower pack. Their biggest challenge, at least as Moon said earlier, fearing the 4 Zoomers cheese, but we saw that they were able to blast past that no problem. Quincy Crew, we'll see them again this coming Sunday where they challenged the cut. Evil Genius is also going to be making their rounds against some of the lower teams. It's not till later, but we'll see the Titans really duke it out. But look at that, man. Simply TOOBASED. Scoring together a couple of wins means that they're right in that middle ground with the 4 Zoomers. I don't think we've seen a TOOBASED versus Zoomers matchup yet, but Jenkins, how do you think that could go?
With how they look today, I legitimate and with how Zoomers has looked, to be fair, Zoomers has been playing tougher opponents lately.
True.
I could legit see that going the way of TOOBASED. And from the sounds of things, TOOBASED, they have momentum. They're having fun. These little rivalries that they have kind of fuels them. And I think Speed said it in his interview, and I totally agree with it. You cannot undervalue this psychological momentum that exists. We've seen it time and time again where a team loses one game horribly and the next game it's like a 15-minute GG. It works both ways. So I might change my vote to TOOBASED after watching this series. Honestly, I think I voted for Zoomers in that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of us may have, but was not expecting. Some of these teams were certainly turning up. Some of them have not been able to turn up. As we see sadboys today, a lot of familiar faces and names that we certainly love and have had a long history in the game itself. But Moose said today at the start of the pre-match that they have not had the time to practice, or many people to practice against, while Monkey says they are scrimming. So you could just see it right there that the practice does matter. So hopefully sadboys can find those opportunities to get some practice time in and kind of turn things around. It's not too late to get themselves into at least a tiebreaker situation, or at least into a middle of the ground situation where they can remain in D1. But Sunset, we didn't get to hear much from you at the end. I mean, was there really any other surprises that are coming your way besides the rise of TOOBASED?
Well, I was trying to end on a positive note here, but yeah, I was going to agree with you about the 4 Zoomers situation. It feels like, I mean, on paper, they should be better than simply TOOBASED, but I feel like their drafts have just been super, super weird and
Yeah.
just have flopped big time. So, like, I don't even know how good, like, I assume if they draft, more vanilla style, they'll be better off, but it's tough to say. That's going to
I
be
agree.
a pretty hype matchup, though, overall.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to wrap things up for today, gentlemen. We are all done for this fine Thursday. We'll be back. NADPC does return on Saturday with lower division coverage there, and then we'll return for more upper division action come Sunday. So on behalf, of course, of PPD and Aui and Lyrical and Pop-Tart and Jenkins and Sunsfan and production, we'll see you next time. Take care now. There's Pop-Tart.
There he is.
What's up, brother?
God,
Have a
he's
good one.
great, isn't he?